Hey, my name is Clara, and I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. This video has been in the making for over a year, and I think it's hard to admit your weaknesses and your struggles to yourself, let alone to other people. Which brings us to step 1 of 12. Admit that you of yourself are powerless to overcome your addictions and that your life has become unmanageable. I struggle with fear of rejection, fear of failure, a lot of other stuff, and I don't think that my love for coffee is considered an addiction. My point is that we probably struggle with a lot of the same things. We don't want to admit it. Now, I grew up as a pastor's kid, and my family has always been really open about the hard things in life. Unfortunately, not everyone's family can do that, and there's also a hesitancy to share within the church sometimes because we're worried of how others will perceive us. Before we get totally started here, I just want to clarify some things. This is not intended to offend anybody or have some sort of hidden agenda. The last couple of years have been this journey to self-discovery and figuring out who God has created me to be. So this is my story. So when I was younger, I just want to clarify that I am still young. I just mean younger than I am now. I've always had very high expectations for myself. They can become disillusioned if we put them on like they're God's expectations. So with my expectations, I made plans and my plans changed pretty drastically. At 23, I was totally burnt out and found myself in a vicious cycle of hurts, habits, and hang-ups. I know what you're thinking. I could have handled the situation more appropriately. Unless you've hit your absolute lower than low rock bottom, I'm not so sure that I have the words to explain how hard it is to get out of these things. What I can tell you is that I experienced the grace of Jesus Christ in a way that I've never experienced before. Because I never really did anything wrong growing up. I was never like a rebellious kid. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was doing everything wrong. Our humanity says if we are doing the right things, if we say the right things, then we've earned that love and we deserve it. God's love is radical and unconditional, and it doesn't matter what we do or what we don't do. His love for us never changed. I became very confident in God's love for me. Disappointment was not a friend, but a frequent, uninvited visit. And Proverbs says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. I found myself in a very dark, depressed state to the point that I didn't want to be alive the next day. This is what depression and hopelessness does to you. It eats away and distorts your reality into something very dark. My soul desperately cried and hoped that God was not done with me yet. When I discovered that hopelessness was really the root cause of a lot of the things I was experiencing, my solution was easy. Find hope. I decided to read the book of Mark and chapter 1 where Jesus heals the man with leprosy, and it blew my mind. A light switch just turned on. Here is a God that society had totally rejected. He had to live in a community with other lepers with no hope of ever getting out. This guy hears about Jesus and he thinks, oh, maybe he's the Son of God. Maybe he's actually performing miracles. Maybe he could heal me. This is what Mark 1:40 says. A man with leprosy came and knelt in front of Jesus, begging to be healed. And if you are willing, you can heal me and make me clean, he said. Moved with compassion, Jesus reached out and touched him. I am willing, he said. Be healed. This image was so powerful to me. I think it showed me that when we are at our worst and we have no future and we have been rejected by everyone around us, we are able to approach Christ and He will have compassion and love and mercy for us. And again, it's this radical relationship that sort of rebels against what society and what law says that we should be doing. I just finished a book called Friends with Sinners, and one of my favorite things written in there is this. Regardless of who you are or what you've done, the heart of God is the same. He loves you right here, right now, just as you are. Jesus is your friend, and He is calling you to know Him, to rest in Him, and to follow Him. I just celebrated my birthday, and with the holidays coming up, I just tend to evaluate what happened this last year. And God has been nothing but faithful and patient and kind to me. The changes in my life are not because of me, but because of what Christ has done for me. It kind of brings that excitement to want to be able to share about it. You shouldn't be afraid to share because of your fear of rejection or what they define as love and grace. I carried a lot of shame and guilt with the thought that my life was not of worth. Makes me think of other people who are in a state of hopelessness and maybe don't have a support system and don't have somebody to turn to. You know somebody who is struggling with these type of things. There is a God who loves you, there are people who care about you, and there are resources to help. Do not believe that you are alone, and do not be afraid to share your story. And that's it, folks.